Hey guys. So, this is like, I can't just, this is like seriously the fourth one of these. I cannot decide what to say. But I wanted to, this is my last night in Aberdeen. Um, and I've been here 9 months officially. It's June 18th. And I moved in, I got to Scotland on September 18th. So, it's officially been 9 months, and my lease here ends on Thursday, and so I am spending this weekend moving out, and it has been a very hard experience moving out. Not as It's just been very sentimental. I think not hard, but sentimental, and I've spent the weekend, with friends, and we've been all hanging out, and it's nice because we don't have class anymore, so everybody's schedules is a lot more fun, and so I'm spending this weekend packing up, and I just had to. I've been typing so much on my thesis that I just couldn't bear to type, so I figured I would just post a video message instead. But yeah, so on Sunday I move up to the Highlands permanently, and we'll have packed up everything in preparation for sending it home for when I come back. And it's a weird feeling. But I wanted to record, some lessons and stuff that I've just learned here, and, thank all of you for the encouragement that I've gotten, and just the amazing support system that I've had at home, and just, I think, some truths about life abroad. And it's not as glamorous or as easy as people make it out to be. It's actually pretty hard, and that I can say May of last year, it was another thing I was thinking about before I made this. Was I was going through my Bible and just started breaking free, and it's such a good study. I'm into it pretty well now, but I did start it in recent time, and it's just been such a good study, and it's just, good grief, I feel like I learn new things every day and just make huge steps every day. And if you haven't done it, look into it. It's Beth Moore. It's amazing, but it's intense. So be ready to do some serious soul searching. But it's incredible. And anyways, I was flipping through my Bible, and I hit Psalm 139, which is my favorite psalm. And I remember when I read this on the 9th of May, 2010. It was midnight, and I remember my highlighter blue Carolina graduation gown was hanging in my closet, and it had, my tassels and stuff around it. And I remember having this moment where I thought, Lord, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I moving 5,000 miles from home, from everybody I know, to a new culture by myself, and not only facing the first year outside of college, but I was like, Lord, what are we doing? And I remember, and then I hit this psalm, which I've read many times before this, but for the first time, sometimes the Lord just highlights a verse in my head, and I just know it's Him. And this happened on this night. And it's verses 9 and 10. And it says, "If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast." And I actually drew a little, graduation cap next to it and put 5/9/2010. And I still remember reading that verse for the first time, and really understanding what it meant, and His promise to me, and saying, I got you. I got you, kid. Like, it's time to go. And my mom always told me that she knew I would be the one to leave. That I would be the one to get out and really push the limits in terms of leaving home. And she was right. And there have been nights where I thought that was the worst decision I ever made. Genuinely. And it has been an amazing, hard experience. I remember when I couldn't find the Carolina Duke game, because I pay for ESPN every month so I can keep up with American sports and stuff. I couldn't find the Carolina Duke game because ESPN wasn't putting it on, and I remember running around Aberdeen at like 2 a.m. trying to find the game just anywhere and couldn't find it. And eventually had to Skype some of my sweet friends and be like, can you just turn the computer around so I can see the TV? That's just it. That's all I need. But, all my family was at the game, and I remember that night I cried myself to sleep. And I remember singing, Lord, I'm missing it all. I'm just missing everything. And I just remember every time that happened, when it was 20-hour, long nights and, 4 hours of daylight, and it seemed like negative 100 outside and raining. He always gave me something to get me through and to remind me that, the bigger the step of faith, the more you can't do it in your own strength, and the more that he meets you, and just the more amazing that he just lifts you up. And it was funny because I got to do a lot of fun things that I never imagined I would do, like joining the equestrian team and, just random stuff that I always kind of wanted to do and just never, at Carolina I had a very, very much a set, just like a set thing that I was, and it was fun to come over here and do something different, to just kind of end things that, just, like not playing lacrosse over here, and picking up the equestrian team instead. I don't know, don't ask. But it was fun, and it was a good change. And so my lessons from Scotland are this, is that, change comes, and you can't freeze everything. And when change comes, you have a choice, and you can choose to adapt and overcome and just trust that the Lord's got some crazy awesome plan. Or you can try to just freeze everything in this bubble, and getting out of Chapel Hill and popping the bubble was the hardest, and when I say hardest, I mean hardest thing I've ever done. Leaving behind familiarity, family, friends, and coming out here on my own was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've had this question asked a million times, and so I figured I'd just answer it finally. People always ask me how I had the courage to do it. It's funny, like even people like on a train, and they're like, you came out here without knowing anybody? And I was like, well, yeah. And is that through every lonely night, or every life change, or every minute where I just felt helpless, that Jesus, like, that's all I got. And it's funny because I felt like I'd come away with, all these crazy, extremely amazing things, and I just gotta say, like, change comes, and change can be the best thing that ever happened. Hardest in a lot of ways, but best. And I have fallen, I've crawled, I have struggled, and the Lord just meets, he just meets. And I would not change one thing. I would not change one thing. And so yeah, that with change comes a choice, and to do the things that scare you. You know, to think that I came out here not scared, you're crazy. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. You know, to think that I have spent my whole year petting dolphins and, you know, spending weekends in Paris and stuff, you're crazy. It's life. You know, it's just life. And there are ups and downs, and there are hardships and challenges and great days and good friends. And but throughout all of it, it's just Jesus that's consistent and got me through every day. And I can say now, looking back, that I don't know what the next big change is going to be. I don't know what faces me in the next 6 months. I don't know. But the best gift the Lord has given me, being here, is just that relationship with myself and not being afraid to be in silence or to handle things, to mourn, to dance, to struggle, to pick myself up, to just have joy, to find delight. And I think the biggest one is that I'm not afraid anymore. When I left Carolina, I so wanted things to stay in the same place, and when I got back, so I would know exactly where everything was. And you can't freeze things. You can't freeze things. And with that comes the realization that I know in 6 months I'll watch these videos or something and try to get that feeling back, and you can't, because if you could, then, you know, the joy wouldn't be in the moment, and they wouldn't mean as much, and you just can't freeze things. And how you deal with change and meet that with faith becomes a sense of fearlessness all its own. And it has been the most valuable, amazing lesson that I have learned. And it's funny because I keep up with Beth Moore's blog, and I really love it. And she actually herself left her church. Her daughter's planning a new church in Houston, and so she actually left and is helping her daughter. And she had this quote at the end of this letter that she had written to her church, and she posted it on her blog. And I've kind of adapted it for my own situation, but she says at the end, you know, there's no time to mourn, girl. You know, you got people to love, a life to live, and a world to serve. And, you know, and that's what I got for you. At the end of 9 months in Scotland, and the end of this blog for the most part, because things are about to get crazy, I gotta say that's it. You know, no time to mourn, no time to be scared. You got people to love, you got a world to serve, and you got a life to live. And go for it. Go for it, and don't live in fear, because the bigger the risk, the bigger the change, bigger the faith, bigger the miracle. And every day that he gets me through, I'm just 100% a miracle. Literally. So I gotta say, at the end of everything, right now, it is well. It is well with my soul. All of it. Every single second. And I would not change a thing. It is well with my soul. So, signing off from Scotland.